A second video in one day for Danny B? Is this really what I should be doing? Well, I guess it's kind of, to be expected at this point. What a day it's been for NASCAR. So yesterday, I got on here and I talked pretty negatively about how I was upset that how Justin Haley was pretty much screwed over by the appeals board, only getting back 25 of their 100 points. Meanwhile, the Hendrick guys, they got back their 100-point penalty. But now, NASCAR has sent those two of the Hendrick guys back down the list a little bit. So it was revealed today after random R&D inspection, the 4 Hendrick cars actually were the ones who went back to R&D. The first 2 cars, the 9 and the 5, well, they finished 1 and 2 this weekend. And as of a random draw, well, it just so happened that the 24 and 48 also went back to the R&D center. Now, what happened with that? Well, they had a little incident in the R&D, and it has resulted in a pretty significant penalty. From Bob Pockrass back about 40 minutes ago as of this recording, Alex Bowman and William Byron and the 48 and 24 teams docked 60 points with their interim crew chief suspended 2 races effective next week because of late penalty notice this week. I think that the original 4-race suspension for the regular crew chiefs might have been up after Bristol. So this might work out, I think. So the other guys wouldn't have to worry about being there anyways. But they've also been fined $75,000. And this resulted in a penalty that came from a greenhouse violation that was found in the R&D process. Also, in addition to those penalties, take away 5 playoff points from Bowman and Byron. So that's 60 regular season points and 5 playoff points have been took away from Alex Bowman and William Byron at this point. Now, it also says that Hendrick Motorsports has already said to Bob Pockrass on what they're going to do with the penalties for Byron and Bowman. They said they're going to be reviewing the penalties issued today by NASCAR and will determine the next steps following Sunday's race. I would assume they will probably go ahead and appeal that. Now, will they get that back? I don't know. Again, this kind of comes into play with some weird parts, it looks like. This being the greenhouse, and according to Bob Pockrass, the rule that Hendrick supposedly violated here is that the greenhouse may be modified to accommodate a windshield wiper motor where required. These modifications will be permitted at all racetracks. The greenhouse modification must conform to the following drawing. Attached was a drawing of what that should look like, and I guess just what they found, it wasn't up to spec. One person asked Bob, so a windshield wiper is going to cost them 60 points? Are you serious? And then Bob said, don't believe it was the wiper itself. It was a modification to the greenhouse that didn't meet specifications, possibly inferior to accommodate the wiper. A guy named Nick also asked Bob, how does NASCAR determine which cars go to R&D? I know it's random, but is it random of all cars on lead lap in top 20, those who have it wrecked, something else? Is there a second or more criteria with the random? Bob said NASCAR can take whatever cars it wants to R&D. It doesn't have to be random. There is nothing in the rulebook that says it has to be random. NASCAR has used that term because at times it picks a car at random. NASCAR doesn't need a reason to take a car or all cars if it wants. Now, of course, with that in mind, yes, in this case, it looks like it's just random, but also, as Bob said, it doesn't have to be at random. It can say, hey, we took a car at random and it happened to be the 24 and a 48. Now, we already know NASCAR was not very happy when the appeals panel gave back the points to Hendrick Motorsports. So how does that play into this? Is this NASCAR looking for any way to get back those Hendrick guys? Because we now know it looks like the appeals panel seemed to cut them some slack. But now NASCAR wants to set an example. Is this NASCAR getting another chance at that? Well, we'll see on that. We'll see if the appeals panel reverses this again. I don't think that we're going to see them get this one back because it's going to look really fishy on the appeals panel if Hendrick gets away with this 2 times this season. So what that does to the Hendrick guys now, Alex Bowman, of course, relinquishes his playoff lead or his driver's regular season standings lead he had. William Byron is still safe in the playoff standings because of his win he had over at Las Vegas. But now Alex Bowman still in a situation where he's not bad, but a win would definitely help him at this point, so I'm sure they'll be looking for whatever they can get this weekend on Bristol dirt. He has a dirt background, so maybe this is when the 48 finally breaks through and gets that win. But as far as what we are looking at here, Ross Chastain now takes over the points lead for the season with 259 points, 30 points back is Christopher Bell. Kevin Harvick is third with 227 points. Kyle Larson and Joey Logano both have 222 points. Kyle Busch has 215 points. Alex Bowman falls to just 7th with 230 points. So that puts it into perspective the kind of season that Alex Bowman was having at this point, to still be in a situation where he lost 60 points, but he's now not out of the top 10 even. He's still in 7th. So that's in a good spot. As for William Byron, though, he was 4th before this. He now has dropped to 14th in the regular season driver standings of 168 points. Again, we know he's fine in the playoffs because of those wins, but ultimately, you know, it's got to hurt a little bit to know, hey, we were doing good, guys, and now that's been taken away from us again. So, Hendrick, your drivers are showing that you guys have great talent, but the team, you know, needs to get it together. And now I know this as a lifelong Hendrick fan. It is not unheard of for Hendrick to find a way to work around things. If you know Ray Evernham, if you know Chad Knaus, you know for a fact that those guys got whatever they could out of cars back in the day. I'm not going to say the C word or anything, but they definitely found ways to get away with some serious speed that was questionable at times. Now, in this situation here, Hendrick is looking for, you know, whatever they can to make the car as good as possible. But, you know, in a car that's supposed to be very much spec for all teams, you're finding out real fast that you can't keep getting away with that. So this is on Hendrick. You've got to be careful and play within NASCAR's rulebooks. You're going to produce fast cars. We know that. But they're going to come after you, especially now that you've been booked for this twice. 2 times this year, you've had some kind of an issue that's impacting your driver seasons. They're both having great years, and they're being, you know, negated by what's happening behind the scenes in the penalty world. I wouldn't let that get to the drivers themselves. I wouldn't think that that should affect them in any way at all. I think Alex Bowman and William Byron are both still in great positions for, you know, their seasons. And, you know, I think Bowman is capable of getting a win soon. We'll see if it happens. It might even happen this weekend on the dirt at Bristol Motor Speedway. But once again, Hendrick is hit with another big penalty. NASCAR laying the hammer on him, so to speak. And they are under a very strict microscope. Chime in down below. What do you guys think about this? Do you think Hendrick's going to get away with it again for a second time? Or do you think this is the one where it's going to stick and they're going to have to climb their way back? They're going to have to really fight hard and do better in the upcoming races and possibly go for wins for all of their cars now. Chime in down below, and until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, guys. Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching this video from DannyBTalks. If you're new to my channel, make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so that you'll never miss another new video here on DannyBTalks. Until next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye, guys.